Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live. I hope you're having an amazing day as Jeff is probably on a plane to wherever he's going, Hawaii, wherever he's going for spring break for the next few days. The boy is taking a big boy vacation. He's taken 2 days off. So there will not be any Thursday or Friday Jeff Lewis live shows. There will be some replays that they've got together. I think Jameson said that tomorrow is going to be an Old Cabo episode, and Friday's episode is going to be one of their recent New York City trips. So anyways, I cannot believe that Jeff Lewis has taken 2 full days off. But when he reminded me, because I never think about Hawaii's, time zone, because I've never been there, that it's 3 hours earlier than California, that he would have to wake up at 4:45 and get all the equipment, and do his vacation and do the show, which he has done before from Hawaii. I'm like, oh yeah, like just take 2 days off, honey. Like, hopefully, I'm sure you've got the money in the bank. I'm sure everything will be fine. So I will still be live, so join us. We'll just chat whatever we want to chat about. I know a lot of you have so many questions about the weight loss medication that I'm on. I answer a lot of them in the DMs, so maybe we'll do a live and chat partially about that. It'll probably be pretty much an Ask Me Anything. We can do any kind of TV shows, any subjects that we want to chat about, whatever. We'll figure it out for sure. And advice. If you need some advice, you can always either email it to asksarahfromtexas@gmail.com, or you can come on live. Oh, I don't have it on. In the comments on YouTube, there is always a StreamYard.com link that you can use to come on at the end of the show for a question or comment. So we are definitely going to chat about that. Thank you, Cecile, for reminding everybody to hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Louise says, was just listening to Scary Sherri reading MJ. It is wild. It's wild. We'll definitely talk about it. Okay, welcome. If you're over on TikTok, shout out. Please hit the thumbs up. Please tap the screen and give us a bunch of likes. If you're on Instagram, I think you can give me hearts or something like that. Whatever it is to help the engagement, I would really appreciate it. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, shout out. You can get comfortable in comments, and you can come on with a question or comment if you choose that StreamYard link right there. Okay. Val Kilmer passed away. Only 65 years old. So if you remember Val Kilmer, super huge career. We happened to watch a documentary about him. I'm positive it was during the pandemic. It was on Amazon Prime at the time. I assume that's where it's still at. I'm not sure. Nobody is talking about the fact that he was in this documentary a couple of years ago. I've seen a couple of stories on TMZ. I guess it's a little conflicting because at first it said he, got sick, got to the hospital, but he ultimately passed away from, side effects of pneumonia at age 65. But don't forget that he had throat cancer a few years ago. So even during the documentary, he is talking with one of those machines that you push the button to help him talk, okay? Because he's got no vocal cords or whatever all that is. Anyways, it's a really good documentary if you want to go watch it. I did put it on my Instagram at Sarah from Texas Podcast. But now something was coming up where TMZ was saying, oh, he was supposed to be at this red carpet event in Beverly Hills at the exact same time that the announcement came out by his daughter that he had passed away from pneumonia. But then a story comes out afterwards, y'all know I love my TMZ, saying that he's been bedbound for a couple of years and he hasn't gone anywhere. So I'm like, well, which is it? He's either why is this red carpet people expecting him? Has nobody been in communication with him? If the guy is bedbound and he's had this one red carpet event set up for the first of a few years, wouldn't a family member, a PR person, friend, somebody let them know, hey, by the way, Val is actually in the hospital, very sick, and he will not be making this red carpet event. I mean, I would think somebody would let them know, but it doesn't make sense if they were also saying that he's been bedbound for a couple of years, because on the documentary that I watched on Amazon Prime, he's not bedbound. I mean, if I remember correctly, he's sitting in a chair. A lot of the documentary is home videos. Like, he recorded everything from when he was a kid trying to be like a director, a movie maker. He had all of those. But also when he would be on set of films, he would film behind the scenes. So that was part of the documentary too. But he definitely chatted about stuff. I mean, he was definitely current in the documentary. It wasn't like, he wasn't on the documentary being interviewed. So I don't really know. He passed away from complications of pneumonia, which is actually really sad, because it really does get a lot of people. Like, you can get sick and then you get pneumonia, and some people just don't come back from it. So clearly, I think the throat cancer that he had, if they're saying that, yes, he had been, bedbound for a couple of years due to complications of that, but I don't know. They just said he'd gotten tired and weak. So doesn't really make sense. But RIP, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. I'm not so much into the action movies that he did, but like I said, this documentary called Val was really good and just very insightful, and just his relationship with his past marriages, his children. It's a really good documentary for sure. Oh, Diane says he was in Tom Cruise's last movie, a cameo. Okay, was that in the last couple of years then? Because then again, it doesn't make sense that he's been bedbound for a couple of years. So, the voice was bad. He was in a chair. Okay. I think it was 2021, but you'd have to check me on that. I just believe it was during COVID, and I think it's called Val, but I did post it on my Instagram stories. So check that out if you want to. Okay. I need your thoughts. The more I look at this, I'm so confused. Okay, as we know, yesterday on the JL channel 798, I had hair on me. Y'all know I can't stand hairs on me, tickling me. On the JL789 Instagram yesterday, Jamie, who loves to be seen on the JL789 channel, or Jeff Lewis if you can, he posted, or somebody took a picture of him and MJ together, supposedly after she's had this neck lift, breast lift, and boob reduction, like all at once in San Diego. But yet she had not talked about doing it. She was just on Jeff Lewis somewhat recently, so it's not like she's been off for a month or anything. But also, the picture of her is in this, I mean, it's a very MJ outfit. I've never even had surgery, much less a plastic surgery. My first surgery ever is going to be later this year when I do my bunions, which I really need done because they're really starting to bother me bad. I took like a 1.5 hour walk with a friend today, and by the end of the day, my right foot was really hurting me. The other day when I took a hike with my daughter, my left foot bunions was hurting me. Like, my feet are just a mess. So I definitely, even in my house, I have to wear these comfortable shoes, these little Easy Spirits that I just found on Amazon. They're in my Amazon shop, because walking on my hardwood floors, I've got a touch of plantar fasciitis coming back in my left foot. So I've been rolling the bottoms of my feet with a lacrosse ball, trying to get that to, it's a lot. It's a lot. My feet problems are a lot. Okay. But I'm trying to figure out if this was an April Fool's joke. And if it was, it's so weird. Like, why would you do an April Fool's joke about that? Now, knowing that she and Jamie are very close friends and love to do the show together, and he always talks about wanting his picture up on the Jeff Lewis or the coffee picture, the JL789 Instagram, makes sense that he just wanted to be on there. But she is wearing what looks to be, if you'll zoom in, and you don't have to zoom in much, her belly is out a little bit. It almost looks like her panties are popping out, or a Spanx or something. It looks like the pants are a little snug. They're a very thick denim pink outfit with a very fitted pink denim jacket that is buttoned up all the way. So a lot of you were talking in the Sarah from Texas Facebook group saying, look, that is an April Fool's joke. They didn't really do that. And I'm like, oh my God, it never dawned on me that this was an April Fool's joke. Like, she was totally going into this deep yesterday with all the details and the information, the facts, like going in deep. And I'm like, well, is this an April Fool's? Because I've watched the TV show Botch. Those people come back for when they have their boobs and a lot of times they have drains in. They're very uncomfortable. They've got a very fitted bra on. Like they're wearing like sweatpants or some athleisure. They're not wearing very snug, thick looking denim with a button that looks like it's about to pop and a denim jean jacket that's buttoned up all the way that just looks so tight. I mean, it doesn't look comfortable at all if you just had 3 pretty major surgeries done all at one time. But also, why wouldn't they come out later in the day and say April Fools? Like, why wouldn't they just say that? So I go this morning to look at the picture again because I'm like, let me just look at this again. Like, let me see if they commented later and said, oh, April Fools, or check the date, something like that to give us a hint. No. Instead, I go looking in the comments and somebody mentions her 1994 felony. Now, y'all know I'm not the biggest Shaw's of Sunset fan, so I've never heard of this. Somebody now said, because I posted about it in the Facebook group, that Reza has outed her on this, or in like season 1 or 2, the reunion episode, and also may have outed her on some fertility medical situations. So I don't know. I'm assuming abortion, but I don't know. I'm just assuming that. Either way, I don't think it was his place to give any of this information, but that is something we know that Reza and MJ do. He definitely brings up the dirt on MJ. He has no problem like bringing that up. I think he's got some deep-seated anger for MJ. So I go to look it up, and sure enough, 1994, I guess she was 18 years old, working as a bank teller. Odd job, coming from a rich person in Beverly Hills at 18. Like, why she didn't go to college, no idea. And apparently, some guys came into the bank and wanted her to do this fraud. She didn't want to do it, allegedly, but then they threatened her brother and her dad. And no, she didn't even have a brother. They threatened her dad and her and whatever. Then she agreed to do it, but then she just quit coming into the work. Whatever it is, she ends up 3 years later pleading guilty to it, spending a month in jail. I think she had to pay $100,000. So I'm like, none of it makes sense. If she really didn't do this, why would she plead guilty? Why would she spend a month in jail? Why would she have to pay back $100,000? And then I feel like she was on like house arrest or something also. It's awful. Michael Riley says Reza outed her at that party and said that she had many abortions. That's just something to me. And I have no personal experience with this, just to be clear, not that it's anyone's business, but as a human, not even male, female, or any other, I don't feel like that medical information needs to be outed by anyone. Like, to me, whether he knew that or not, there's a fine line of saying things. Now, something like a felony might be public knowledge and come out eventually. But even so, what is his purpose in bringing this stuff up and like dragging her down? Like, he really doesn't like her, right? Yeah, he's definitely not young. Raquel says Jamie needs to take the hat off. He is so self-conscious of his hair. He's not young. Yeah. Is this all during Shaw's of Sunset? AUS Fly Girl says, I will never like or respect Reza after the horrendous things he said about MJ. The year of the arrest, I think, I don't know. 1994 is the year that comes up, which, hold on. 1994, was she 18? I think she's actually older than me, and I just turned 52. Whatever it is, she's older than she likes to say, but whatever. I guess if you did the math and then figured out how old she was, it feels like this happened when she was 18, but she didn't plead guilty until 3 years later. I don't know. I don't think I read any of those details. I posted a link in the Facebook group, but it's harder to, I didn't post a link in the Instagram. Dana Maria says, was she in a relationship with one of the bank robbers? I mean, that would change everything, right? Whose arrest are we looking for? Sherri says, Mercedes, which her name legally, the article says, is spelled Maseda, which is kind of how her mom says it, Mecedeh, Christine Javid. So let me know what you find. Let me know what you find, because I'm not good. I don't know how to look up that stuff. I just was looking at the picture to look at her outfit to like really critique it and be like, that doesn't look like anything that somebody would wear after this major surgery so soon. And then in the comments is where I saw it. So, anyways, somebody says, Jen Helen says MJ is 52. Okay, so she's my exact age. So 1994. I mean, she wouldn't have been 18 years old because I was 21 in 1994. You know what I mean? Because I graduated college at barely 22, and that was in 1995. Anyways, the math ain't mathing. Okay. I don't think if y'all would have told me that Jeff was really not part of this podcast, part 2, that I would have spent time watching it. But dang. Scary Sherri did not hold back at all. She has never met Mercedes before. This is the Heel to Feel part 2 episode. I watched it on YouTube. It's about 40 minutes. You can also listen anywhere you get podcasts. Heel, the number 2, Feel. It's bizarre. It's like Jeff had his interview on part 1, and it's mostly him and Liat talking, a little bit of shame. And then this episode opens up, and it's clearly that MJ has never met Scary Sherri before, but Scary Sherri has been working with Liat for like 15 years, considers her a daughter. They consider each other very close. We know how close Jeff considers Scary Sherri. She literally is invited to their family dinners at Todd's house. So she goes to Christmas, Thanksgiving. She goes to a lot of things. She'll even be at ChumpCon doing private in-person readings. So it opens up. She's got a very thick accent, which I knew because I can't remember which party she was at, but she was at one of the parties that I was at, and I did hear her talk. If you turn on closed captioning, that is a really good advice on the YouTube because it is really hard to understand what she's saying. But even with that, Liat seems to interject a lot and kind of try to explain what Scary Sherri is trying to say. And even Jeff jokes a lot going, oh my God, if it wasn't for you, we would have no idea what she was trying to say. She talks in circles a lot. It was not a good reading. And MJ admits to a lot of it. So remember, for months, Jeff has been talking about, Mercedes and that she's got a lot going on in her personal life and she's not happy and very much alluding to that she and Tommy have problems. But she and Tommy still have their podcast, right? Till the Dirt with Tommy and MJ. Doesn't seem to allude to any problems there necessarily. But she's being read, and basically Scary Sherri is saying MJ needs to open herself up to helping others. Like if you don't help other people, the example she gave was homeless people. If you don't open yourselves up to acknowledging them, giving them money, helping them out, basically the whole universe is connected as one, and that is going to come back, and that is going to be your karma. She mentions karma a lot. She mentions her son, Shams, a lot. She mentions that she's not in love with her husband. She mentions a separation next year, but not a divorce. So we don't know if that means, is something going to go wrong with Tommy and his health? I mean, even as she's saying these things, I mean, you can see that MJ's like kind of mortified, like, oh my God, like all this negative, something really bad is going to happen in August or September or something really soon. And then I think in August or September of this year, something good is really going to happen. And you can tell MJ's trying to ask questions like, okay, so some guys are going to take advantage of me, like financially. But then it's like a lot of things. Scary Sherri would be like, I don't know. Like, I know about love, and everyone wants to ask me about money. You're never going to be poor. You're always going to have money, but I can't answer about love. And then Jeff is interjecting because Liat or somebody would kind of bring up Jeff, and Jeff's like, don't bring me into this. You're not reading me. But some parts of it, which kind of related to what Jeff said yesterday about Gage, was Scary Sherri tells Jeff, she's been telling Jeff that he's going to need a bodyguard because he's got enemies. And Jeff's like, that's not a good thing. Like, you're saying this as if having bodyguards is a good thing. She does say within 5 years, he's going to be a billionaire with a B. She's very clear about that to Jeff. But, he keeps saying, don't tell me I'm going to have bodyguards because that's not a good thing. That means I've got enemies out there. Well, we know just yesterday, he talked about being a little bit scared of Gage. And he said, look, this has gone on for like 6.5 years now. Like, I'm a little bit scared now. Like, this is getting a little, and then he said something like, if anything ever happens to me, go to Gage's front door. Well, that's alarming. Like, we don't want to hear that, right? Yes. Mariah J says MJ's body language alone during the podcast was very telling. She was very closed off. She's in like this jumpsuit outfit or something. And very much like this. When Scary Sherri mentioned about Jeff needing a bodyguarding, it was so unsettling. There was lots about like, I don't know, but MJ would even say things like, yes, but I need to protect my husband. He doesn't work. He doesn't make money financially, but I do. So that's okay. They talked about if she was in love with him and if she has love. It was very clear that Liat was like, oh, I am all about relationships. I love people. I don't care about money at all. But Scary Sherri was like, MJ worries way too much. She puts way too much time and energy into her career and making money, and she's not connected enough to her son. So it says that she needs to help other people, and that she's not in love with her husband. It basically said she's not connected to her son. And if she doesn't change things, no matter what, maybe change things and have a happier marriage, or maybe change things with the way she's making her son more of a priority, but that she is responsible as the mom of Shams alone. She is responsible whether or not he's going to end up having a good life or a bad life. It was very interesting. And MJ did not deny any of it. Like, she didn't say anything. She basically said, oh yeah, we walk around the house like, okay, got to get this done, got to get this done, got to get this done. It sounded like a very loveless marriage, and they were just kind of staying in it just for Shams, which, I mean, he's only like 5 years old, maybe 6. So you sort of understand that. But basically, Scary Sherri's like, you got to change up some things. I don't know. It was very interesting. Very interesting. Let me know if you watched. I wouldn't have necessarily thought, if I would have known that it was mostly MJ and no one would have told me like how intense and negative the reading was and what MJ's reactions were and what she was saying and not denying it, I don't think I wouldn't have watched it. So for them to have said there's 2 parts of Jeff Lewis, I mean, a little misleading. It was really, one part of Jeff Lewis and then him just kind of sitting there. And even he was like watching her and he was like, this is not a good reading. He's like, oh my God, like this is not a good reading. Yeah. Yeah. Mabu says MJ loves money. She's proven that lots. Yeah. And I mean, who doesn't? I mean, but I do feel like some people, take it a little overboard with how much they work or put into their career because they're so worried about, being poor or whatever it means to be poor or to lose the financial security of being poor. Yes. Michael Riley says we were all tricked into part 2. I mean, Nick James says Jeff is talking about full legal custody, all the things, putting it out there so everyone knows his thoughts. It's then known that he feels a certain way for the courts. But again, full legal custody does not have anything to do with the co-parenting, does not have anything to do with Gage not seeing Monroe. Gage would still get Monroe 1 week on, 1 week off. He just, full legal custody means that Jeff can make all the medical decisions. Jeff can make all the school decisions. He doesn't have to legally consult with Gage on that. So everyone on Facebook keeps saying, and in my reels and my comments and YouTube, saying, oh, Gage needs to, well, it kind of goes both ways. There's definitely people that are like, Jeff is a nightmare. He'd be terrible to be in a relationship with. He should have never had a kid. And then there's people like, oh my God, Gage is a terrible person. I can't believe he's doing this. He's only coming after Jeff because he's in a relationship with Ty now. So we definitely hear both sides. But several people imply that, Gage should have his legal rights taken away of Monroe. It's really hard to do that. I mean, it's really hard to do that. Gage would have to do some really terrible legal things to do that. So it's all about the best interests of the child. So Mariah Joy says, Scary Sherri also told MJ that she has time to fix it. But if not, she will end up repeating the same mistakes as her parents with her son. Her son will be her karma. It was so eerie. You're right. So she's basically saying, look, you can change all this, but if you don't, things are going to be really bad with your husband, and your son's going to grow up to not be, I think she was saying, a good person. It was very wow. So you can watch that Real to Feel on YouTube. It's about 40 minutes long on the YouTube channel, or you can listen anywhere you get your podcast. It was crazy. They were never married, but marriage has nothing to do with co-parenting. AUS Fly Girl says, Gage and Jeff were never married, was my understanding. They were never legally married, but Jeff has made it very clear that he owes, how do you say this? He would have never decided to have a child via surrogacy if it wasn't for being in a relationship with Gage, because he says he would have never chosen to do it on his own. So he does owe a lot to the fact that he was in a relationship with a man that very much wanted a family. So he doesn't regret any of that, because that's how they got Monroe, obviously. Robin says, that's different. Full custody would give Jeff the right to any visitation for Gage. He would be the decision-making on medical and visitation. No, not on visitation. Not what Jeff is talking about, because he would make that very clear if he could take away Monroe visiting or spending time with Gage. He would make that very clear. So unless he's saying it wrong, then the way I've said it is correct. Dana Maria says, as an adoptive mother, I don't like that thinking about Gage. You'd have to tear my child out of my cold, dead hands. I'm sure Gage loves Monroe that much too. Yes, I have never said I don't feel he's any different from a parent for Jeff being the biological sperm to Monroe's egg donor. Like, to me, it doesn't matter at all. Matter of fact, Gage has embryos on freezer, or whatever you want to call it, with the biological mom, the same one with his sperm. So if he chose to, activate those embryos and have a baby, it would be Monroe's legal half brother or sister, because they would share the same egg donor. Anyways. Oh, Rebecca says that's why MJ was so pissed the way she got screwed over in Trader. She lost out on money. And she was very clear about that look, I left my son, I left my husband, I left my business. I did all of this. I did all this work. And then I feel like I got screwed whenever I didn't get any money, and it should have been split 3 ways, which wouldn't have been all that much money to begin with. You know what I mean? Oh, Mish is in Australia. Happy Thursday already over there. Diane says, I think Jeff goes overboard giving Gage money under the guise of wanting Monroe to lead the same lifestyle. It's for a weekend. She's not living in a slum. She'd be fine. But it's not a weekend anymore. They have 1 week on, 1 week off. And actually, they've split custody pretty much 50-50 for years. It was just this weird, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then they go back for 2 days. I mean, it was weird, but at the end of the day, it was pretty much 50-50 between them. Now, when they first separated at 2.5, the schedule was very different. Very different. Jeff definitely had Monroe more often then. Anyways, we will keep chatting about this. We can still chat about this as it keeps developing. Obviously, the MJ thing. I want more of y'all to go and watch that podcast, and I want to hear what y'all think about it on tomorrow's and Friday's Reality Water Cooler. I don't know. Tiba. So I wonder how it's listed on Monroe's birth certificate. Who's the mom and who's the dad? I have no idea. I believe Jeff has said Gage is on the birth certificate. So I don't think with an egg donor, you have to put the mom's legal name, because clearly they can be anonymous, right? But I believe Jeff has said Gage and him are both on the birth certificate, but obviously I have no idea. Louise says, I watched every episodes of Shaw's. I wonder if Scary Sherri did too, because so much of what she said is no surprise if watched. I mean, I don't know that she was I can't, I mean, if you look at Scary Sherri, they did start talking. Don't get me started on the language because I'm not sure it's Farsi, whatever the language, the Persian language. They did start talking in a mutual language at one point. So it was because Scary Sherri was saying things, and it's like English is not her first language, so it's not that you couldn't physically understand her. It didn't make sense, the phrases that she was using. It was something in relation to, she was trying to say that, like, there are people that look like you, and that's because in the world, people come alive and they, no one ever dies. She was saying something like that, but basically the universe is all connected. So I don't really know what the nationality is. I don't know what country she's from. Cecile's what says what nationality is Scary Sherri. I don't know. It's very interesting. Diane says you don't hear anything more about Gage's relationship or Baby Stone. I mean, from Jeff, do you mean? We see Baby Stone on, which is now Toddler Stone, on Scott Anderson's Instagram, and then on Scott's also. I don't know if about Gage's because he has me blocked, but their recent trip to Cabo, there's a picture of them both together up on the grid on from Cabo. So they're very much letting people know that they're still together. Yeah, Louise says, I couldn't understand her, and it was more than the accent. It's because she was just saying a lot of, I don't know, and karma. And I mean, it's a lot. You got to go listen to it for sure. Yes, Michael says she repeated herself over and over and over again. Yeah, it's a lot. And it was a lot of, it's like she's very, she really believes what she's saying, but it didn't, she had some cards that she had kind of MJ mix up a little bit, but they look like brand new cards. They almost look gold plated. They looked very thick. I was like, usually when I see like psychic cards or tarot cards, they're all beat up and they're old. And I don't know. I don't know what she was getting from those cards. Because at the same time, she was like stopping and kind of doing a reading on Jeff, basically saying he hasn't found love yet. Which I'm like, okay, I don't think Ty's going to want to hear that. They've been together since October and it's now, early April. So T with Tambo says, if Monroe turns out to be a halfway decent person, I'll be surprised. She is being raised by 3 bitchy gay men, just saying. Oh, well, I mean, there's lots of bitchy people that raise children that, I've had a friend and her sister that grew up with a very not so stable childhood, and they both grew up to be great people. So I think also you can have great parents whose kids grow up and go a different route. So I think all that doesn't necessarily matter, but obviously we hope Monroe grows up to be a great person. Okay. Oh, they were playing cards? Yeah, didn't they look new, and didn't they look like gold plate? They looked very thick, like they didn't like shuffle. Like MJ was just taking them off and she wasn't even moving the cards. It was weird. It was weird. It was weird. Wait, what did Miss Lupo say? Oh, Miss Lupo said she had regular cards. She did it with me. Wow. I mean, is that normal in a psychic reading? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not really into all that stuff at all. Okay, let's chat Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, reunion part 1, season 14. OMG. First of all, didn't love what they were all wearing. As much as I don't always love Dorit, I did like her outfit probably the most. It seemed to fit the most, at least when it was sitting down. I think a lot of their dresses were probably pretty standing, but they weren't the most attractive when they were sitting down. I mean, Garcelle had like sticky diamonds or fake whatever, and all over the dress, the gloves, the everything, sitting right next to Sutton, who had a dress on that had like sequins or something. So they even got stuck together at one point. But I do have to give Dorit, I did think she was the best dressed. They pretty much open it up with PK and Dorit, this montage of their marriage and how it was portrayed even just 5-6 years ago as being like, oh, my love, my PK, you're my everything. And then we find out as soon as this season opened up, Dorit was like, he's an alcoholic. He's a bad father. I call him the monster. His texts are terrible to me. Like, you can't believe it. I mean, as much as we understand that, it's hard for us as viewers to see them be portrayed as this, oh, almost perfect marriage, perfect relationship. I mean, it started last season, season 13, with the marital therapy that they were going to and stuff after this home invasion that she had gone through, right? He was not understanding that why she was still upset over it. Oh, you're using this as an excuse. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never had a horrendous home invasion alone with my 2 children, but I mean, give her a little bit of, like, she's going to have some anxiety going into events or the unknown or somebody knocking on the door late at night. Like, that's going to terrify her. Yeah, it wasn't. Michael Riley says Garcelle looked great standing up, but it was not a dress to be seated in. And that's what a lot of them don't think about. Did you also see right when they're coming to the couches, somebody says to Erica Jane, I love your dress or something. She says, oh, it's just by this little unknown person. And then somebody looked it up and it's some designer that has like 2.3 million followers. Okay. For a designer to have over 2 million followers on Instagram, they're not tiny. Like, I don't know why she would say something like that. Did she not know who they were? Was she not happy with them? Like, why wouldn't she give credit? It was weird. And I don't know. I don't follow all of them, but a lot of them, when they wear things, especially for a reunion or a big event, you know, the season finale, they'll show a picture of the dress and the shoes and credit the makeup person, credit the hair person, the designer, the shoes, the brand of the purse. I mean, all the things, because they've worked out a deal. They're not paying retail price for that. You know what I mean? This is exactly what Garcelle is standing by. Something similar, Sherri says. I still think PK planned that break-in. So Garcelle is saying, I'm not going to say you had your hand in it, but I'm going to say somebody did. And I don't understand who else would have something to do with it besides someone intensely involved. All I can think about is all the stuff that's come out about the financial stuff, the pre-foreclosure, all this stupid stuff that, you know, I mean, when they are talking about, Sutton is basically asking Erica, hey, I just want to know, as a woman, I want to know that, you know, if you're on the mortgage, like, how much legal responsibility do you have for this? Do you own the stuff that y'all own together, or does he own everything? You know, and Erica Jane, Dorit was like, you don't like me. You don't have compassion for me. You don't even care about me. I'm not going to answer any of those questions because why would I? And I'm like, well, but the rest of us want to know. Like, let us know for sure. But it sounded like that was a denial. Like, I'm not on the mortgage. I don't own anything legally. Because when Andy asked about being in foreclosure and all the stories that were coming out, she's like, well, I think it was pre-foreclosure. Something about the rate changed on the mortgage. And she says that PK couldn't get an answer from the bank. So he just says, the way I do business is I don't pay the bill. I'm not going to pay my mortgage unless they call me back and tell me what this new rate is or get the rate down or something. Well, even her buddy Bose was like, well, that's how you get your house taken away from you. Like, you don't pay the freaking bill. Like, hello. Oh, Miss Lupo says, terrible of Garcelle to say, inside voice for that opinion. But I got to hand it to Gazelle. Now I'm mixing up Bose and Garcelle's names. I got to hand it to Garcelle, as much as this is what happened at the very end of the reunion where they go to lunch break and she's all pissed off going, look, everyone's coming at me. I can't say anything right. I give my opinion and then I'm boring. Like, I'm getting yelled at for everything. But my thought is, she was not the only one that had weird feelings about that. Even Andy Cohen mentioned, well, maybe because the robbers of this home invasion decided to leave your phone for them because you said, "Oh, please leave my cell phone." Well, wouldn't that have DNA or like what? Like, why would you leave the phone? Now, why would you take it also? Because it's going to have GPS and then her phone's get right. I mean, what would be the point in stealing someone's cell phone if you did a robbery from them? I don't even know. But then also, Garcelle mentions, well, you didn't have your house alarm on, and your husband's in another country, and you're going to say that you just don't turn your house alarm on when you're famous, you're wealthy, you flaunt your jewelry, you flaunt your purses, you flaunt your brand name clothing, and probably people can look up and see where you live. And then you assume that no one's going to break in. You're not going to put your house alarm on because you've got two little kids that run around. Well, yeah, everyone has people. And when you set your alarm at night or any time that you're in, you set the alarm for when you're home, not for when you're away. Like it's 2025. This isn't a new thing. Yes. Michael Riley says, I have the alarm on in my house when I'm in my house. And there's a different way that you set it. That way people can walk around in the house. But if someone opens a door, if someone breaks the glass, that alarm is going to go off instantly. So it was weird. Nick James says, I work for a mortgage company. Rates don't just change unless you're in an ARM loan. Oh, is an ARM loan where 1 year it can it rises and falls with the rates? I've heard not to do those, right? Because you can be low and then you can be really, really high. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. So I feel like Garcelle shouldn't whisper that. She is on a reality TV show and she should be able to say whatever she wants to say. Louise says, my alarm is on all the time when I'm inside. It's BS about her kids walking around. Made no sense. And the fact that they did it when she wasn't asleep, like was the robbery like 9:30 at night? It wasn't like super late. Like, why are people breaking in when they know she's awake? And I'm assuming they watched her to know when she landed with the kids and everything. Heather says, Garcelle was the one who kept bringing to everyone's attention that she still had her wedding rings. Oh, yeah, that's right. That she didn't steal that jewelry from them. Yeah, it's interesting. Do you believe that Dorit is still in love with PK? She said that she is. It took a long hesitation, but do you believe that Dorit is still in love with PK? I think in love is I think she can say, I have love for him. She basically said, I'm still in love. I'm still devastated that my life isn't going to be the way I thought it was going to be. Well, yeah, they were, I don't know, married 10 years. I don't remember how long they were together before that. They have two little kids together. They've built businesses together. They've gone to bankruptcy. They've been through a lot. They've been on reality TV. She very much said that she feels like PK ended up getting kind of jealous of her fame, and like he loved when people would stop them. So that was never an issue because they bring out this statement and because they invited PK to come on the show and he didn't come on the show, and he wrote this big long statement basically saying, look, you have been blasting me, but the worst thing I'm going to respond to is you calling me a bad father, because our kids are going to hear about this eventually. And I do not like that they're going to hear that you called me a bad father. And that's understandable, right? Because even if he is a bad father, let them figure it out on their own. For her to be saying this, saying he's an alcoholic, saying he's a monster, all these things, she was definitely throwing him under the bus, as several of the ladies said. If you look at the eye contact of all the ladies, nobody, I mean, it's like Dorit's on an island. She really has no one there with her. I mean, well, even Bose wasn't really coming at her because Bose only knows her from this season. Bose knows this season of Dorit. Even though she's watched past seasons, she only knows her as a personal friend from season 14. But the other people, when she was talking about, oh, I'm only a social smoker. I was smoking because I was stressed out. I mean, the looks on the other ladies' faces are like, girl, like you smoke Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You smoke every day that ends in a Y. Hello. Yes, good point. Shanda says Dorit is in love with the facade. And one thing that she did mention is, and I'm assuming it's the money, is that she mentioned that PK did have a problem with the fact that she loved all the brand names and all the whatever. And I'm assuming it was the money, but she really didn't get into that. I just feel like it was the time. Can you imagine how much time it takes to shop and to style and money to pay people to do that, to get the hair and makeup done, to be taking the photo shoots, to be posting on Instagram? I mean, it's like, oh my God, like enough already. It's crazy. So I think it was a lot of that too, for sure. Yeah, Cheryl Crow says, didn't Boy George live with Dorit for a while? I think he lived in their like guest house, which was interesting. Hey, Mary. Louise is asking what everyone thinks of Jennifer Tilly. So Jennifer Tilly or Kathy Hilton weren't on episode 1, but I'm assuming, is this going to be 3 episodes? Do we even know? Have they said? I don't even know that I've heard. I feel like a long time ago I heard 3 episodes, but I'm not real sure. It wasn't amazing. Kyle and Dorit are still fighting over when Kyle texted. If Kyle was the only one that texted Dorit after the divorce announcement came out, first of all, if you're really a good friend, you text and then you say, can I call you? Or is it a good time to call you? I can't imagine being really close friends with someone that all of a sudden comes out with this divorce. And I think Kyle knew some things, because remember last year Dorit had kind of confided in her a few things. But I feel like Kyle didn't even like Dorit. Like she was more on, like, she's definitely taken PK's side in all of this for sure. But nobody reached out to her, which is sad. I mean, you can't say something like the fact that nobody reached out to her at all except for Kyle. And then she says nobody reached out to her. And then Kyle's like, oh, hell no, I did reach out to her. Like, I did text her. I'm like, it just should have been a phone call. You know what I mean? Did y'all see after the first commercial break? Who is it with Sutton? With Sutton, who was the actor? I feel like it's somebody famous. I can't decide if it's the White Lotus lady or not, but somebody is doing a Benefiber commercial, which is basically to help you poo, with Sutton. It wasn't terrible, but I'm just kind of over the Bravo celebrities doing like the real commercials. I mean, good for them. Does Sutton need to be doing a Benefiber commercial? No. Years ago, did Lisa Rinna need to do the adult diapers commercial? Yes. Lisa Rinna does not have Sutton Stracke money. Never will. You know what I mean? Katrina says, Up and Adam said their house is leased under a corporation that includes Dorit's dad. Interesting. Then why wouldn't Dorit's dad be making the phone call about the interest rate? Very weird. Or making the payments. Like, because that can't look good, right? Like, rich or not, these people still end up having loans for stuff. They're not paying for cash for everything, especially all the financial issues that we've heard about PK. So in the future, he's going to need loans. And if you just decide not to pay your mortgage, that's going to be a huge kick. That's going to be a huge red flag for somebody. And you can't just say, oh, well, they weren't calling me back, so I just didn't pay the mortgage. No, that's not how it works. And you're like 55, 60 years old. You should know this by now for sure. Who's California crooks? PK and Dorit? Everybody's saying they're California crooks. Yes, they are crooks. Oh, well, that's true. You're not wrong there. LTD says having Sutton in the commercial made me watch it. I watched it too because I was fast forwarding and I'm like, wait. Why is Sutton Benefiber? What? And then I go back and I'm like, so you're right. I went and watched the whole damn thing too. Oh, LTD says you go into pre-foreclosure when you miss one payment. Okay. I mean, Mary says PK's statement was crazy. If I were in PK's situation and I was publicly being called an alcoholic, implying that I'm a maniac, like, the monster with all these horrific texts and such, and saying that he was a bad dad, I would come back with that too. And he basically, the way he stated it, I'm sure somebody else wrote it for him, but the way it was stated was like, look, There's been a bunch of other lies. I'm not even going to give that any credit. I'm not even going to give that any airtime. But when you call me a bad father, and I know that our children are going to hear or see this one day, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to come back on that for sure. Louise says, I was surprised Dorit made it okay that PK said the bank didn't return his calls. It just sounded to me like Sutton is correct, that Dorit has no idea what's going on in their marriage financially, and she needs to be involved. I mean, Sutton kind of joked, but Sutton really was upset, even though it was a good surprise. Sutton says, when I got a divorce, I realized that I am the owner of 2 baseball teams. And Andy Cohen's like, well, yeah, those are good surprises. She's like, I know. But the fact that I didn't know this means I was checked out on my marriage. Like our finances, he was making decisions without me and not including me. And even though it was a good surprise, you need to know everything that's going on. Like I know everything we own. You know what I mean? So there's we we don't have any surprise baseball teams that we own. Anyways, okay, Bose, her current status is she is doing egg retrieval for IVF. A lot of people were coming at her for, basically wanting to have a family, have another baby with this guy, Keely, where they admitted they hadn't even both said, I love you yet. But she's like, look, I had such a terrible pregnancy and I was so worried that I wasn't going to have a baby that it's taken me 15 years to admit that I wanted another baby. So that was very vulnerable of me. So when she said that, it really made me understand more and remember more of not her just wanting to have a baby, but everything that she's terrified of going, wrong with her having the miscarriage and all the stuff. So that was very good. Everything seems like it's fine. I don't understand why the delay. Like, I think at some point she let us know that they were trying naturally. And I'm like, well, why are you trying naturally in your mid 40s? Like, I don't know that that's gonna, you know what I mean? Shanda says, I think PK got the ick from Dorit and traveled overseas as often as possible. He was also drinking a lot. Now, I don't think he has admitted publicly that he was an alcoholic, but he said he's been sober. And now, obviously, Dorit was kind of implying that maybe he's not, but he just said, I'm not going to talk to you about that anymore. Basically, I'm not going to tell you if we're not on good terms and you're going to use it, negatively. Equal time spent at Umansky's bar in their living room, bashing his wife's spending, hence the alliance with Kyle. Yeah, that all makes sense. That all makes sense for sure. What else? When Erica looked at Garcelle and said, basically, I wish you would share more. And Garcelle's like, well, what is there to share? Like, what more do you want me to do? Like, I'm not really dating. I went on a date with a guy twice and, and then Erica's like, well, then I wish you were more interesting. In other words, if you're sharing everything that you have to do and it's not that interesting. Now, I wonder if she's doing like the directing and the acting. We saw on last season where they showed at the season finale, I think it was, her not the red carpet, what do you call it? The opening of the movie, the showing of the movie. But there was really nothing on this season except that she got the beach house finished and what an accomplishment that was. But really, one of her twin boys decided not to film, which, she's got to respect that. I mean, he's 15? Is he 15 or 16, 17 years old now? Well, I guess they're about 17. They'll be juniors next year. But when they were filming, they were probably like 16. So she's got to respect that one of her twins doesn't want to film anymore or this season. But yet she was also coming at Kyle for Morgan Wade agreeing to be on last season, but then deciding this season, look, I don't want to be on. Like all that negativity, it was giving me anxiety. I didn't sign up for any of this. Like I want to be a country singer. I don't want to be attached to all these whatevers. The one thing I didn't like is when it seemed like Kyle was trying to say that the comment at Chuck E. Cheese when she said, be who you want, just be who you are. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. And Kyle sees that as a negative, like she was trying to put her down. I'm like, I don't understand what she has. She's definitely caught up in the whole being labeled a lesbian. Like, she definitely, even if she has feelings for Morgan, if she has feelings for anyone, any other female, she definitely doesn't want to be labeled a lesbian. So whatever demon she has to grapple with that, it definitely seems to me, I felt like Garcelle was saying, just be who you are. Like, it's 2025. Be happy. Like, we're all here for you. If you're not going to be with Mauricio, be happy. And you're definitely giving off romance vibes with Morgan Wade, like on all these different things. It was crazy. Um, I mean, I don't even think she meant it to be mean, though. Michael Riley says Erica was funny, but it was mean. But again, she wishes she were more interesting because she's on a show that Erica Jane is on. And if everyone's not interesting, or if they're not sharing their personal life that would be of a topic to make people want to tune into this show and, do podcasts about and talk about on social media, that ultimately affects Erica, because then the show's not that great. So I don't think it was a negative thing. I didn't feel like it was at all. Okay, Garcelle definitely talked about the home invasion being a setup. They talked about that. At the end, when they took the lunch break, Garcelle feels very piled on. Sutton goes to sit with her in the room, and it was like, mean girls. Like, we're not mean girls. I don't know. Yeah, good way to put it. Mariah says Kyle has internalized homophobia for sure, which is so interesting, knowing that her niece, Paris, is so hands-on, so pro, LGBTQIA plus, whatever. And they live in LA, and like, it's 2025. It's not 1965. Like, it's crazy. Sherri said, that's true. Sherri says Kyle can't come to the terms that her 25-year marriage is over. Yeah. She is still close to Morgan. They were in Europe again last week. Okay, let's chat today's Jeff Lewis Live. Fortune Feimster was on both hours. Doug Budem was on the first hour. Not a lot of big news or anything. Just a lot of good conversations. What did you think? I thought it was really good. He was kind of bashing Doug and teasing him a little bit, but at the very end, at the very end of the first hour, Jeff totally said this super sweet thank you, that Doug has really helped and stepped up as being like an unofficial producer of ChunkCon, and has really helped Jeff a lot. So this caller calls in and is trying to like dog, Doug for asking or not knowing this Air France thing. And Jeff and Doug is like, well, I said, I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I can tell you. And I think y'all have experience with DM and Doug. He is very hands-on. He loves the DMs. He loves sending a video. He loves sending an audio chat. He loves answering questions. He's really good with the fans. He is very much like a Jeff Lewis liaison between the fans. He definitely gets a lot of DMs, I'm sure, saying, hey, can you tell Jeff this? Or I tried to reach out to Shane and he didn't read my DM. Will you tell him this? He does that with a lot of people. So I feel like, like a Jeff Lewis advocate for sure. Thank you. Somebody said they're number 73 on the thumbs up. There's 199 people on here. If y'all would all make sure you hit the thumbs up button, I would really, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Cheryl says Morgan didn't break up that marriage. Kyle said Mo wasn't jealous of them. Yeah, that marriage, you don't have a 25-year marriage break up in 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably been ongoing issues. And Kyle has very much alluded to issues of mistrust between with her and Mauricio, implying that he's cheated, but she hasn't come right out and said that. Fortune and Sarah Colonna were on the second hour. Lots of talk about it opens up with eat like a baby. This diet that sounds very familiar to what I'm on. It is eating tiny meals and eating very slow. And I am learning, being on the weight loss medication, You do. You eat very small meals. If you don't, I have not gotten sick, but I'm definitely in a Facebook group that people talk about getting nauseous, throwing up, diarrhea. I just find I can go out to eat, and I feel like menus, restaurants have like really big meals, and I can think that I want that. And then by the time I start eating it, I'm literally able to eat a third or a half of it. So it is really helped with me. Jeff does not need to eat like a baby. I don't think he ever has any weight to lose, but y'all know I've been very honest with you about my weight loss and that I gained a lot of weight in 2024. So I'm trying to lose it, and it's really helping me. So if you want $40 off, check in my link tree, and there's a link there to get you $40 off your first thing for sure. Ian, did you see his butt? That it feels like that. Anne says that's what happens when you have stomach surgery. That's what I've seen on 600-Pound Life. That's what I've seen on 1,000-Pound Sisters when all of them have had their stomach taken away. I don't think it's that my stomach has gotten smaller. I do, because I don't, yet. It's only been, today is April 2nd. I started this medication January 13th. So it hasn't been long enough that I don't feel like my stomach has shrunk, but I do feel like the medication makes you feel full faster, and it definitely makes me feel like I'm having tiny, tiny little meals like a baby. I've always eaten slow. It clearly doesn't help me enough. They say that Jeff eats very, very fast, so that can't help. But then he's like tall and slim. You know what I mean? Oh no, Dana Marie about Kyle says, we all knew she would never be emotionally fulfilled by that man. We were warned. Oh man, that was crazy. And that's like 10 years ago. I hope so. Cecile says a slow loss is better for your skin. Yeah, I definitely don't want to get like the Ozempic neck they talk about. I'm like, I've got enough wrinkles from not taking care of my skin. You know what I mean? Ooh, am I supposed to take electrolytes with my water? I do not. Although every once in a while, I think to eat or drink a Gatorade G, the zero thing that has electrolytes, just to give me like a sugar fix, the sugar flavor. But I don't know. Tiva Tambo says, I want to take my stomach fat and put it in my ass. Well, I don't even have space in the ass right now. I still need to lose a lot of weight for sure. Okay, Kian, talking about ass. He puts up this picture. I did reshare it. Did I reshare it on my Instagram? I don't know. Or just the Facebook group. I can't remember. But it's Kian reenacting how Zach Noe Towers was laying on the floor. I mean, he has been doing squats. He has been doing the Stairmaster, something. I mean, it was a good picture. I have heard of creatine and collagen. I do need to look into that stuff. Oh, but LMNT packets were expensive. I looked into buying those. Oh my God, they were so expensive. Lincoln the Golden says, Gatorade is horrible for you. It's all chemicals. I mean, I get it, but it's not like I'm drinking 7 a day. Okay. Fortune Feimster was getting teased all day long about, I guess she does a podcast called Handsome. This woman is busy. I mean, she's got to be getting checks from here, there, left, right, everywhere. But I guess she's doing some live shows that are part of this Handsome podcast. And a caller calls in like, yeah, I've got tickets to see you, but like there's all these other people going to be there. And she's like, yeah, that's my Handsome podcast. Like it's huge. It's sold out. Like it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Crazy. So they've got live shows. A caller calls in about ChumpCon that has the gold ticket, the gold pass, they're calling it. Jeff had mentioned a few weeks ago that they were adding on a special bonus for people that have the platinum or the gold pass at ChumpCon, that they would get to watch the live show Friday live from Las Vegas. But then they were like, there was some kind of conversation between him and Jameson about it. And I didn't know if they were taking that away. I didn't know if SiriusXM was saying they couldn't do it. I had no idea what it was talking about. Apparently an itinerary is going to go out very soon for the people that have platinum and gold, because they do they do get access to different things than other people. So they need to know what time to show up and all that. And that's honestly been an issue with all the live events that I've been to with Jeff Lewis, because they don't ever tell you. I've always had the VVIP ticket, or at least for the last 3 of them, and they don't tell you what time it starts. So then a lot of people are like, is it an hour before? Is it an hour and a half? And then I would end up having to find out and like trying to post to let people know. But there was always people that never knew. Cheryl says that podcast is a bit boring. Is this the one where she is on Sirius XM for like 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday? It's a long podcast, but at least it's a lot of people to talk. Oh, Raquel says, I wonder when Shane and Brogan will vacation alone. It's always with Jeff. It's becoming too much. I thought that was interesting, because does Brogan pay? Does he not? Like, they both have enough money. It's not like they couldn't afford to go to Hawaii. And even if they didn't go to Hawaii, why couldn't Jeff go to Hawaii with his mom and stepdad? Who is it? Jeff, Monroe, his Tom, Claudia, Brogan, and Shane. So that's the 6 people that are going to Hawaii for the next few days. It's interesting, because they could either just stay and have their own like staycation, or they could go somewhere else. Oh, Handsome comes out once a week, someone said. Okay. But doesn't she have another Sirius XM? Okay. Dana Maria says it's 3 women hosts. I've listened a few times. How many live shows have I seen, Sarah? AUS Fly Girl said. The first one was the Burbank live event, November 2021. I'm probably missing some. Chumpmas 2023. And then the last Spring Fling, May 2024. And then the Phoenix show, whatever they called that, Hot in Phoenix or something, August 2024. I think that's all the live events. Everything else has been other events, like not live events. Because he went quite a while between having, from November 2021, his next event, I missed a couple between then, but his next event, I think, was Chumpmas 2023. So it was a lot, a long time in between them. Oh, good. Tiva Tambo says, this has been a good show today. Very interactive in the chat today. Yes, I love when y'all get in the comments on YouTube. I realize that some of y'all have to watch on TikTok. Some of you prefer to watch or have to watch on Instagram. But if you want to get into the comments, it is so much better to join us on YouTube, or get into the comments on the Facebook group, Sarah from Texas. I don't listen to What a Joke Is. Yes, but I didn't go to Chumpmas this past year, remember? I chose not to go to that one. What else? Oh, Brandon's going to be at ChumpCon, I bet. I wonder if he'll wear a Speedo in the pool party, hopefully. Jade Catapretta. So don't forget, they're off tomorrow and Friday, but we will be live at 4 p.m. Eastern, just like normal. It will go up as a podcast. It can be an Ask Me Anything, advice. You can email me at asksarahfromtexas@gmail.com. I can read the advice, or you can come on live, or you can put it in comments or a question or comment. But they will be off and they'll play replays. Jade Catapretta is back on Monday with, oh gosh, who all was it? I feel like it's, freaking from New York. Kristen, Jade Catapretta, somebody else. I forget who the other 2 people were. Anyways, Jade hasn't been on a while, so it's definitely, she will be back for sure. Okay, well, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you're listening as a podcast, please scroll down and hit the 5-star rating and review. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow at 4. Bye, y'all.